Did you know that 800,000 children's life could be saved if they are breastfed optimally? Unfortunately, less than 45% are breastfed in Nigeria. Good evening. Welcome to Sound Health on Lagos Television. I am Olasunbo Modupe. Today on the program, we are taking a look at essence of breastfeeding and the implications of not breastfeeding babies exclusively for 6 months. Stay tuned. The program continues in a moment.
Ready, set, let's go!
The program is still Sound Health on Lagos Television. Joining us via Zoom this evening is Professor Kola Anido, National Coordinator, Academic and Research Network, Scaling Up Nutrition Nigeria, and he is going to tell us what exactly is breastfeeding, how we can actualize breastfeeding exclusively for mothers and children. Good evening, Professor Anido, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening, ma. Thank you for the opportunity to be here to speak on breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding is a long-age traditional habit that have been promoted since I can't even tell. Unfortunately, times have changed. The World Health Organization says less than 45% of babies are breastfed worldwide. Tell us, how did we get here?
Yes, like the data quoted for the World Health Organization, that is globally. But for Nigeria, the data is currently looking at the mix 2021 data that we have. The breastfeeding rate, the exclusive breastfeeding rate in Nigeria is around 34.4%. That is to say that it's only 1/3 of children that are of infants that are exclusively breastfed. And there are a lot of factors that contribute to this. Some of these are traditional and cultural practices that because when we are talking of exclusive breastfeeding, we are talking of giving only breast milk to an infant for the first 6 months of life. And one of the problems we have is that some of the caregivers don't believe that a child should just be given only breast milk without giving any other fluid, including water and other foods. And so because of that, you find out that in addition to giving the breast milk, they give water and some other things. And part of this issue is because of ignorance. The breast milk itself contains over 80% water. And if you also look at it, one of the major problems that we have is the issue of contamination in the course of infant feeding. Because it has also been discovered that the death of under 5, over 54% of what is responsible for the death of under 5 have a link directly or indirectly to malnutrition. And WHO have also found out that if our caregivers carry out good hand washing practices, that this death we are talking about will reduce with not less than 50%. That means in the course of feeding these children, a lot of contamination comes in. And one of the major points of contact is the issue of water. And so the issue of the data that we have, there are a lot of cultural factors, traditional, that contribute to some of those problems. That is why the data. So the data in Nigeria is even worse than that which you mentioned globally reported by WHO.
Okay, unfortunately, in every 5 household, there are at least 4 working mothers in every 5 households in Nigeria. At least there are 4 working mothers. How will this category of women fulfill their responsibility when it comes to breastfeeding?
Yeah, there are
Because it is not, from your
guidelines.
explanation now, it is not just about cultural beliefs or myth.
Yes, it's true. You find out that, like the working mothers, there are policies and guidelines to support working mothers. We have maternity protection policies. And that is why the issue of maternity leave is given to working mothers so that it can help them to support them to be able to have that close contact with their children, with their infants, so that the issue of breastfeeding can be supported. And there is also effort now to even ensure the extension of that maternity leave with some months in addition to the 3 months, so that like up to 6 month maternity leave, so that it can give that opportunity for mothers and the child to be together, so that the issue of compromising the issue of breastfeeding will not be there. So there are a lot of policies here and there. And there's even there is the issue of creation of creches, that even when the woman resumes after the maternity leave, so that the child can also be placed close in proximity to where she's working, so that the issue of that hindrance of breastfeeding will not be there. So there are a lot of efforts in that direction.
Okay.
But the only thing is that I always say it, that from my own personal view and looking at the situation we are, we must be deliberate about making sure that we achieve the implementation of these policies. Now, this program that is being organized is we are having World Breastfeeding Week. And I said it should not be a one-off thing, because during the World Breastfeeding Week, a lot of information is created. There's a lot of media jingles, a lot of action or communication activities or media activities going on to sensitize and create that awareness in the public on the issue of breastfeeding. But after this 1 week, what next? You may not hear any other thing again. And I said, for us to be able to achieve the desire to ensure that our mothers, we support our mothers in doing carrying out this breastfeeding, we must be deliberate about it. It's not something we just do once a year and then forget about it. And there is need to create that supportive environment for our mothers to be able to carry out breastfeeding accordingly.
Okay, maybe before we talk about the implications of not breastfeeding, maybe you should remind our viewers that, so mothers, caregivers, fathers, the benefits, the essence of breastfeeding now for both mothers and babies.
Yes, thank you very much. You find out that looking at the nutrient requirement of a child and the nutrient composition of the breast milk, you find out that for a child, for the first 6 months of life, nature have made it in such a way that the nutrient requirement of that child and the nutrient composition of the breast milk will adequately meet that requirement. And so if a child is given breast milk, that child will be able to grow optimally. That is without water or any other fluid at all. The breast milk will be able to meet that requirement that will make the child to grow adequately, physically, and cognitively. So that is one of the major benefits. And then the breast milk also contains antibodies, because the immunity of that child is not fully developed. Through the breast milk, nature also passes some, that is why we call it passive immunity, some antibodies through the breast milk to the child to stimulate immunity in the child and will protect that child. And again, like I mentioned, the child will grow properly, the brain will develop very well, and the breast milk is in the right composition, the breast milk is in the right hygienic condition, is safe,